gentlemen, the Uncutt Podcast.
By Corey Holland, and then I had it all in the palm of my hand. Now I got a body in the back of my head. I couldn't wait three more rounds, but I can say there's many things that set it all.
Am I doing it right?
Oh, Jesus fucking H.
Is this the thing?
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Well, Matt's gone. He's still here, though, so it's all good. I'm just going to talk to him like he's here. Just when y'all hear silence, it's just whatever. Deal with it.
I'm here.
You're here. You're everywhere.
Dude.
You are fucking everywhere now, bro.
You know, I'm really out here grinding as of late, haven't I?
You're putting in the work.
Yeah, I'm trying to be the hardest man in wrestling TikTok.
National brands now.
Shout out to Synology UK.
Who knows? Maybe
that was wild.
Will be up here next week. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
I'll break the fourth wall here because nobody really knows yet. So Synology UK, they did follow me back. I did a whole TikTok using the Dora music. They talked to me for a little while. And if I lived in the United Kingdom, I would already have a shipment on the way. But I live in America. So they forwarded all my information over to the American division. I had to send over my information to them. And as we sit here talking, I'm literally just waiting to hear back from them as we speak.
Well, hopefully you put your phone on Do Not Disturb because God only knows how many notifications you get.
It is on D&D. Don't worry.
Oh, thank Christ for that.
Every time I record, I have to put it on D&D because, yeah, it's stupid. Thank God I have my TikTok notifications silent.
That's what I need to do. That would make sense. See, I never thought about that.
It's extremely beneficial for me.
And it's just the whole way down. Yours would be. I'm sure yours were at one point before you smartened up.
No, I set that up from the beginning because, like, I always have my phone on vibrate. I don't have my phone ring. And it's not because I'm like doing shady shit or anything like that. I just don't like being that dude in a store and all of a sudden, bling, bling, bling. But I can always feel it in my pocket, so I don't bother anybody that way. Nice move there, Kobe.
I was looking at the fucking screen and I went off the wall.
Got the rebound there, Barkley. You round down the rebound. But like, yeah, it's been cool with Synology and Carnival's interacted with me a little bit. And Dude Wipes has liked some of the content that I've been doing lately. And the branding has really branched out very fast.
It's all hashtag for the brand now.
It's all for the brand. God, if I could just hang out with Pat McAfee, I'd bring all the vitamins. It'd be a great day.
Oh, by the way, if you want to see any of my, obviously you're all here for him. We all know who the star of the show is.
That's a damn lie. We all know that. But anyway,
but they are. Well, anybody new? All the people that listened to us at the beginning were here for me. Now they're here for you. But, if you want to see my wrestling content, it's all moving to the @Uncutt Wrestling or @Uncutt_podcast page on TikTok. If you want to see me act like a goof, then you go to my page. Wrestling will come back on that page one day. But right now, because I'm trying to get followers, and my wrestling content's the only thing I do that gets followers.
I did one video.
Him, so.
I do one video on our Uncut page, and I double our follower level in one video.
Hey, I need you to do about 6 more.
Dude, I've done 15 today. 16
and none
today.
of them were on the Uncut podcast page.
I mean, I don't know how the Cartman impressions would go.
We'll talk about it. I have thoughts.
All right.
We're gonna get there. This show, guys. Anybody watching, listening? Because I am gonna get this on the audio. Nobody watching or listening. If you ever want to hear the episode where Nick and Matt just jerk off for an hour, that's the one.
This is us being the Ducks.
I never thought I'd say this. Robbie's not here to calm us down.
Yeah, he kind of like Rain Man keeps us in check a little bit.
He does kind of reel us in. Not happening.
I'm like the dude on the couch and half baked. I just wake up, throw notes across the table, and lay back down. Like, hey, I'm doing this shit.
But I overthink everything and forget all the things I just overthought about. So we're good.
That's why we mesh well.
It works perfectly. So let's talk about this past Saturday night. St. Louis. Heard a couple people got together and had a wrestling show.
Yeah, a little minor, independent, small indie show.
Fan?
Yeah, it was at like a bingo hall in downtown St. Louis.
I think they drew 45 people or so. Wait, hold on.
44 people. 44.
44,000.
Oh, shit.
I misread that. 44,000 people showed up.
That's why the parking garage was so full.
Strange. Showed up to St. Louis to watch a little Royal Rumble. And our good friend, the superstar himself, was the guest of honor. And brought all his TikTok buddies with him. Except me. Didn't invite me, but that's fine. I don't care.
No, okay, so like hold on.
Followers is the thing.
Hold on. So let me explain this, because I've had a few people that have commented on like my videos and shit of like, well, where's I guess my invite got lost in the mail. And none of us planned that out. It just kind of happened. I got my tickets and CPG was like, well, I have tickets too. Where are you sitting? I'm basically like directly next to you. And then finding out Infamous and Infamous and McGruber were there too. And it was just like, well, this is kind of perfect. We can all just meet up. And St. Louis was awesome. It was awesome. The city was cool as shit. The food was badass. I sent you a s'mores waffle that I had for breakfast one of those days.
It looked delightful.
Oh my goodness. I went to the DraftKings casino. I went to. I took a tour of the city. I played roulette, dog. You think I ever lose?
Well, I mean, I've played your parlays, so yes, I do.
Roulette's an easy game.
Parlay. We're gonna bet on Delaware tonight. What?
Roulette is a game of statistics, though, instead of random gambling.
That makes sense.
Where if you bet smart, you have a 66% chance of winning every roll. So you just slowly build your bankroll up, and you're good. And then you can start putting money on numbers. So yeah, I came up a couple hundred ahead myself that day, which is low for me, but I mean it's a W.
Hey man, a win's a win. They don't ask how, they ask how many.
Exactly. A couple hundreds are easy. I mean, the people were great. Like I said, the food was awesome. Seeing the arch was cool as shit. Our hotel was awesome. I got a little easy upgrade on the room, so that was kind of nice. Because other activities happened while I was there, and while I was there, I was like, hey, I'm going to be doing A, B, and C while I'm in St. Louis this weekend. Is there any chance you guys got any nicer rooms available? And she's like, well, I don't know, because of, all the events this weekend in St. Louis. I'm like, well, no shit. She's like, well, do you have any handicap issues or handicap accessibilities? No. Well, if anybody asks this weekend, you do. Okay. She's like, well, here's the keys to your room, sir, and enjoy it. And there was like a private suite basically, and it had a whole private living room, separate bedroom and separate bathroom. I was like, this is like a studio apartment. This is kind of nice. But the only thing that nobody knows yet, we get into the room, right? We drop our bags and we're kind of overlooking stuff on. We start turning the TVs on and just like, settling in for a moment. I didn't know there was people in the room next to us. All of a sudden, you just start hearing think, and I go full Bert Kreischer mode. I start leaning up next to the door, and I'm giggling, laughing. I'm fucking dying laughing. Danielle is sitting on the couch like, will you shut the hell up? Will you calm down? And I'm like, I just want to be like Bert Kreischer and just knock and scratch on the door and be like, you guys want to hang out? Just knock and scratch. Because the doors were a joint.
Oh my God.
I was waiting for them to be like, I don't want to fucking hang out with you. It was awesome, though, because, like, got to meet our good friend CPG. Got to hang out with Comic Punk Guy. He was awesome. I do know his government name, and you still don't know it, and I'm not going to tell you because I swore to secrecy. He told me that you asked about it. He did tell me. You mentioned it in like some passing on like the show or some shit like that, and I was just like, I was just like, I completely forgot. I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it. But he made me look like he was my security guard.
He is a monster of a man. Having now seen the videos, that dude is a hoss.
He is a big guy, and like walking around throughout the Rumble, he was like in the lead of everything. So it was like
Oh yeah.
him and the ladies, and then me, and it's just like I feel I was joking with them, and I was just like I felt like I was Rob Dyrdek, and you were my Christopher Big Black Boykin.
Yeah.
Just like get out of the way, go. But the only thing that sucks about it that I didn't see till immediately after we got back to the hotel, because we'll get into the card here as we go on. But
Yeah.
after the show, we all hung out for a minute, and there's multiple videos of all of us from different angles, all hanging out together, us TikTokers. We all split up and went our separate ways once we got outside the arena, and Infamous Opinionist ended up running into Ryan Satin. And I was just like, son of a bitch! Here I am walking through the wrong parking garage, and he's hanging out with Ryan Satin.
It's a hard life, I'm sure.
It's a struggle being a panda, man.
Dude, it's got to be just the worst being you. It hurts my feelings, really. I feel bad for you.
Man, once we're done recording, if I have to do a damn panda angel in the snow and this cold ass Michigan weather, I'm gonna be so pissed.
I can't wait. I'm praying for it.
I can't even check it because I record here.
I just go out and stand in the freezing rain. That's all I get. So
we got 11 inches of snow at my house yesterday.
11 inches. You've never seen 11 inches. So that's got to be hard.
I hate you so much.
Anyway, so let's talk about the actual Royal Rumble and not, the superstar meetup that you had.
Yeah, let's talk about the one match I walked out of. We'll get to that as we go, but there was one match I completely walked away from in the beginning.
We'll get there. I don't even know that story. I want to know. But let's talk about the opening match was Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, which was beautiful. And I will say this, and I'm going to go ahead and say it now, angered me more than the result of the Women's Royal Rumble or Men's Royal Rumble, the finish of that match. Legitimately got angry and had to just be like, I'm taking a bathroom break right now.
The entrance
I appreciated the chair beat down afterwards, but Seth coming out in the Shield gear to the music. I love heels that play mind games and do it well. And that match was so much fun on so many levels because neither one of them was the babyface and neither one of them was the heel. Mm-hmm. Because you could sympathize with both of them, or at least empathize with Seth.
Yep.
You'd be like, Seth knows what he's doing, but Roman's such a prick, he kind of deserves it. But then you got Roman getting fucked with, so you kind of feel bad for him, even though he's been the penultimate heel for the last 2 years.
But he also he kind of felt like he owed Seth.
He did, and you were like, you kind of want to see Seth win because it's like that'd be a really cool moment, but you also want to see Seth get his ass kicked.
Yeah,
I do wish we had gotten an actual finish to that match, though.
I agree.
I think if they had held it and done the DQ with the chair instead of the Roman won't let go of the guillotine, would have been better.
I mean, I see both sides. The match was very solid, though. I've never seen a bad match between them. But once again, the things that always happen in life: death, taxes, and Rollins beats Reigns. It's just the things that will always keep happening in life. And whether it's by DQ, pinfall, it's always death, taxes, and Rollins over Reigns. Yeah. Great match. I marked out at the Seth Rollins entrance and being directly above the entrance ramp for when Roman walked out. I love Roman Reigns. He's completely changed how I thought of him since he went from being the Shield to the head of the table. So seeing his transition, it was one of those matches that I could just sit back and enjoy as a fan. And the only thing that sucked was the ending. Yeah.
I don't know. Now, a lot of it is TV editing, but were the fans as angry as they sounded? Like, was it that loud in the arena? Were they that pissed off?
Yes, okay. They were that pissed off.
It was very strange. I know you can't really have either of them take a clean loss, but to have it in that way definitely brought it down a notch for me. I still had it I'm not going to Meltzer it, but I still had it. It would probably be like a 3.5, almost 4-star match. But
I go with Simon Miller. Let's give it a thumbs up still.
Thumbs up. Definitely
One
thumbs
up, but it's definitely like a three-quarter
like
up.
a thumb slightly up.
Yep.
Yeah, it was great. I just that finish just pissed me off. I did really appreciate the callbacks after the match, and the little thing that everybody's brought up. Oh, we hit him in the back with a chair, but that Seth sold it the same way
Same
Roman
exact
sold it.
way.
The
Bounced
chin
into the
over
rope,
the bottom
everything.
rope, the try to pull himself up, but he can't. It was like that was the part that sold me on it. Seth Rollins is fucking amazing.
Just a damn unicorn of a wrestler.
Probably, yeah, he's probably the best professional wrestler, at least in WWE.
Oh, hands
I'm
down.
not going to say on the planet. but
Nothing
he's
against
definitely
AJ
the best.
Styles.
All right,
Seth Rollins is the top 5 professional wrestlers on the planet right now.
Agreed. Yes, let's go with that. So let's see. Then the next match was Women's Rumble.
Women's Rumble.
Okay.
See, I'm just trying to replay this through my mind.
Yeah,
Women's Rumble
I
was
had it
after.
in my head. I'm like 90% positive it's Women's Rumble, but like I have.
Cheers to
I'm not
everybody.
gonna lie. I totally have Wikipedia just in case I go blank. So, so let's talk Women's Rumble. Better than the Men's Rumble. I think that's easily
Hands down.
more surprises by a long shot. Mickey coming out with the Impact Women's title to Hardcore Country made my Southern heart happy.
One of the if not the biggest pop of the night was her.
Doesn't surprise me a bit.
And I couldn't, like you said, doesn't surprise me one bit. Seeing her carry out the Knockouts Championship, though, and raise it above her. Doesn't matter what kind of TV cut Kevin Dunn kind of did to get around it. It still happened.
Yeah.
And we all got to see that acknowledgement of Impact in WWE. So even in Vince's mind, that world exists.
Yeah. And let's talk real quick. We're going to side note because we don't normally do this kind of wrestling talk during the show, and I'm loving it. It's my favorite thing in the world. It's nice to see whether it's Vince or God forbid Nick Khan or whoever that's letting this stuff happen. I mean, Mickey with the Impact title, they didn't call John Moxley Dean Ambrose during the whole build-up. They called him Mox the whole time, including
Pat McAfee called him Ambrose.
The only person who stuck with it and had to call him Dean Ambrose was Michael Cole.
Cole.
And even my brother was like, yep, that's the company man through and through. I'm not even mad about it because he probably doesn't even know who John Moxley is.
And the whole time Vince is in his ear screaming Ambrose, 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 Ambrose.
And McAfee don't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't give 2 shits. Like, who cares, Brad?
It's very nice that like they're at least acknowledging the rest of the wrestling world. I don't think they're ever going to. How you figure?
Sami Zayn acknowledging AEW a couple years ago isn't really referencing AEW. Impact,
Yeah,
this is the first real major reference besides for Kurt Angle making a joke about it a couple years ago.
But I think it's starting. I think I'm not saying the term.
Are we?
I'm not going to say it, but I feel like we're seeing the tip of the iceberg. I feel like
we'll talk about that in the Men's Rumble.
Fair enough. But anyway, Women's Rumble. First, you have Melina getting eliminated entirely by accident. I refuse to believe that was how she was supposed to go.
It was completely a botch.
There's no way in hell that was supposed to be it. And then we got Sasha Banks doing what she did. And that's all I'm going to say because my wife is 15 feet that way. We don't use that kind of language on this show.
On this one, you kind of have to, though.
Yes. Anyway. So yeah, man. But then I was really surprised that Mickey lasted as long as she did too.
I did and I didn't.
I kind of had this weird feeling that Vince was going to go, "Cool, you got your moment. Bye."
But without having like
Jack to kill everything, even though I know
that's what I was going to say. Without having like a Nia,
and that's the other thing too. I feel like because Doudrop was in the match with Becky, and we'll talk about that later, unless that was the match you walked out on. Don't tell me now. You don't really have that monster anymore, and I'm glad it's not Nia, and I will fucking live and die on this hill. That woman is fucking dangerous. And it's my same problem. This is going to be the controversy episode because I'm about to say some shit. It's the same problem I have with Nyla Rose. I have no problem with anything about her personally. Good for her. She's fucking dangerous. That woman almost killed fucking Priscilla Kelly in that first battle royal in AEW, and I've never forgiven her. But
Gigi Dolan?
Who?
Gigi Dolan?
What's a
Toxic
Gigi
Attraction?
Dolan?
What's a Priscilla Kelly?
What's Oh,
I'm
Gigi
kidding.
Dolan
I'm
does
kidding.
look a lot like Priscilla Kelly.
It's eerily similar, isn't it? Isn't it like
very
some
scary.
twin
I don't know.
similarity?
I miss Priscilla Kelly like I miss El Generica. You know. But
Cheers
she's
to
off.
that one.
I think she's off helping orphans or running an OnlyFans. I'm not 100% positive.
Maybe working for Tampax. But anyways, back to the Women's Rumble.
Oh, okay. Now that I've played the I don't know what NXT 2.0 game is, no NXT talent. Surprised?
Not as much on the women's side.
Yeah.
I feel like the women's side, it was more focused on throwbacks and having Melina, having Mickey, having, Ivory in the right to censor. Like, that was awesome. Even though she was in there for like 0.2 seconds, it was still awesome to see her.
Ivory had the best spot of the night.
Yeah,
when
she
she's
did.
up to the body slam and she's still cutting the promo.
Ah!
She's still going and she's talking shit the whole time. And the ring eliminates her. And you see she's trying to keep the promo going, but she dropped the mic on the way down.
It was such a well done job by the ladies overall.
It was a great match. It was
even all the
definitely
way
best women's
to
Rumble.
hands down. All the way to Ronda coming out.
What was that like? Because they've now proven they're piping in noise for Ronda.
Oh, absolutely. It was a mixed reaction live for her. It was not as loud as what Mickey got. Mickey's pop was louder than Ronda's live.
Okay.
Mickey's was more cheer, where Ronda's was more of that Roman Reigns back in 2015. You're here type of thing.
Okay.
Because a lot of the people heard that it was coming.
Right.
So it was just more of like, great, Ronda's back. Shit.
Yeah. I am glad. I was very scared. I knew Ronda was going to win. I as soon as I heard she was coming back, I knew she was going to win. And this is, I don't know what this says about Charlotte Flair, but it gets down to her and Charlotte at the end, and my brain was like, "Oh God, no." Neither one of these is a great option, but one of them is definitely worse than the other.
Agreed. And you and I both agree on the worst option.
Yeah.
Charlotte had no place being in the match. I feel being the SmackDown Women's Champion, you're literally in that to just get the check of being in the Rumble match. And I get it. You're going to be on the show, but it literally makes no sense no matter what kind of storytelling you do, because it wasn't going to be theoretically logical going into Mania having her be the Royal Rumble winner. So the second it got to her and Ronda, I was like, well, shit, we already know how this is going to happen.
Yeah. I think there would have been a cooler story on some level. I didn't want her to win, but I think it would have been a cooler story for Charlotte to win it. Only because then Charlotte has that. Okay, so the whole build is Charlotte's going to get to pick her opponent if she wins. And then you because there's so many different variables. Not that they would do this, but there's so many different variables. You have like heels that are trying to kiss her ass and trying to be like, "Hey,
Tessa Blanchard."
Hey man, I want Tessa Blanchard, one of the big two. I don't care that she fucking gets heat. I don't care that people hate her. I don't care. She can fucking work. She might have heat in the locker room, but so does Charlotte Flair, and she's still the number one female in WWE, whether we like it or not.
And awkwardly, weirdly, Roll Tide. I don't think you disagree either. You just can't say the words. Go Burrow!
For Joe Burrow, and for my good friend Tyler Thorne.
Our next Super Bowl MVP, Joe Burrow.
Good Lord willing. I'm putting money on it.
Same here, buddy.
But yeah, I really like the Women's Rumble. I'm trying to think. There was something else I was going to bring up and I forgot, but probably wasn't important. I liked it though. I am not angry that Ronda won. Like I've seen so wrestling TikTok has pissed me off for the last 5 days, Matthew. Not you. Because you've been busy being a superstar. You haven't even talked about wrestling all week.
That's true. I really haven't much.
Dude, it's funny because I'm like, oh, cool. He's going to send me a wrestling video this time. Oh, no, it's another fucking brand that wants to support him. I love you. I'm happy for you. You know I'm just fucking with you. But
I know.
Like, cool, a wrestling video. No, okay.
I did a few wrestling ones today. I think I did like 3 or 4 wrestling ones.
Well, you haven't sent those to me.
Yeah, they're in the fun. You got to go through all the today's history. Good God.
But yeah, I mean, everybody pissed off about Ronda winning it. CM Wrestle Talk, I will say, he was pissed off about it, but at least he listened. Because I made a TikTok talking about how I feel like Ronda does bring eyes to the brand.
Mm-hmm. She's money.
She's money. People know her name. People watch her. I tried not to say it in my TikTok, but I'm going to say it here because y'all know I always fucking say what I think here. She's kind of car crashy. Like, you never know what's going to happen. You don't know if she's going to have a great match or she's just going to punch somebody in the mouth.
Her promos are trash.
Her promos are awful. Her promos, she needs a mouthpiece so bad.
She needs a mouthpiece so bad. And here's my biggest negative when it's come to Ronda. She did it on the very first night she showed up, and she did it while I was there at Rumble myself. She sat there and pointed at that goddamn sign for like 4 minutes straight, just. Now, and then they'd go to replay, and she'd put her arm down for a minute, and then they turn it back on. She'd just go right back to it again.
Because they showed a shit ton of replays, and I was with a bunch of my boys, and I looked around. I'm like, do you think she's still pointing at the sign right now?
No, she was getting cued. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah,
she was getting cued the whole time. She'd rest her arm, and then all of a sudden, all right, Ronda, 3, 2.
Yeah, and it's the laziest point. Everybody else looks so excited and so proud, and she's just like, there it is. I'm pointing at the melty sign.
That poor ass sign. That poor ass sign. That's a little bit further on in the show.
We'll get there. So let's see. After that, okay. This is going to be the one. I just feel it. Becky Lynch versus Doudrop.
How do you feel about it? Why don't you give me your report first?
No. I want to hear how you felt because you were there, man. You experienced it live and in person.
All right. Here, for our audio listeners, I apologize. For our video listeners, you'll completely get it. This is what I did. I went walking around the arena until I heard the bell ring. Then I came back to my seat. I went and looked at the merch stand. I checked out all the shit they had at the merch line. I went and checked how expensive the food court was and all that shit. All of a sudden I heard, ding, ding, ding. Whoa! Like, all right, we can go back to our seats now.
Okay, so since you didn't watch it, I will talk about it. Because that match...
I saw the manhandle slam. I did see that.
That match was better than it had any right to be. I wasn't thinking it was going to be a squash. I did not think Doudrop was going to get as much offense in as she did. At no point did I fear for Becky. And I feel like that was what the match was missing. A couple of those, this is obviously a huge underdog moments. I feel like she should have hit her finisher. She went for it 4 times and never got it off. Mm-hmm. Obviously the last one was to set up the big manhandle slam because you can't have Becky lift her because, I mean, we all know. But it just... it needed that moment where she hits the finish and Becky banana peels onto putting a foot on the bottom rope. Or she takes the splash and her foot kicks up as Doudrop lands on her foot lands on the rope. Something like that. That was the only thing that was really missing for me. I'm not going to say it was anything outstanding. It was nothing to write home about. Nothing I'm going to remember after WrestleMania probably. I really enjoyed it, though. I thought it was a good match. And that's the thing about this Rumble that's been shit on so hard for the last 5 days. Nothing was bad.
It wasn't
even
that
the match everybody fucking hated wasn't bad until Shane McMahon showed up. But we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But I absolutely agree. And even for somebody who was live, there's 2 different sides of logic when it comes to the Royal Rumble. There's those who saw it on television, and then there's those who saw it in person.
Yeah,
and those who saw it in person, we had a great ass time. That was a fun show to be at. Whether, I walked around for the Becky match or not, it was still a fun time. I watched the replay back on Peacock, and I could see why people nitpicked a little bit, and especially when we get to the men's match, it just became a botch fest. But with the women's match and even with the Becky match, it was a solid card. It's just we nitpick so damn much.
I think everyone's too obsessed with being an expert these days.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to be the smartest guy in the room, and we all forget. And I'm even guilty of it. And I try not to be, but I'm even guilty of it. It's so hard to remember when we were fans. Yeah.
You?
It happens. I don't do it on TikTok, but you should see me in a fucking room with my boys just fucking shitting on stuff. And I think back on an hour later, I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
Like I haven't had conversations with you privately.
Oh, you never had a conversation with me during a show. Watch a show with me and watch how bad it goes.
Dude.
I got so mad during Roman and Seth. Like I said, I literally had to walk away after that match. But so that brings us to the most underwhelming match on the show. Great match. Still good. Still really enjoyed it. But it was a match that had so much hype, it was never going to live up to.
No.
And you have this problem with Brock. People think because Brock is this big giant monster and he's going to have, he just slams the shit out of people, that it's going to be entertaining. And I think now, I hope it doesn't happen with Roman. I fear it's going to, that we've reached the other side of the hill with the Brock Lesnar gimmick. That he can only throw so many Germans before it's like, oh, he's throwing another German.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed him and Bobby. I feel like it's very much, and I felt it at the very beginning of the match, that first lockup where they just were hanging on to it. I'm like, this is Brock Goldberg 1 all over again. It was better than Brock Goldberg 1, obviously.
Way better.
Or like 10-minute bear hugs. But, it was it had that kind of feel like, oh yeah, it's not as good as we all dreamed. It's not the video game. It's not the dream match we've all pictured.
Yeah, I expected it to be like a 15-minute car crash, and it was what it was, and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. You just, like you said, it was gonna never live up to the hype. The second that Roman walked out, though, it was just like, oh shit,
yeah,
here we go, and then the crowd got rised up into it again.
Yeah, I liked it at the beginning with the Bobby no sells of the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those in the middle, though, when he finally started selling and he was trying to take bigger bumps, and you could tell, I hate to do the worker perspective, but you could tell from like a worker perspective that he's trying to do more. He's trying to take like a big head and shoulders bump for some of these Germans, and Brock doesn't care what kind of bump you want to take. You're going to take his bump, and if you do anything extra, then good luck to you.
You're going to pay for it.
And there were a couple of those where I was legitimately like, Bobby's going to get hurt. He needs to stop. The Roman Reigns run in, though. And I love the fact that WWE was like, hey, you know how you're all expecting something? We're going to give you exactly the opposite and watch you be livid about it. And again, we're going to get to the finish, but because it's a 3-part story of this Brock Roman thing.
It's a love
Brock
triangle.
Not showing up for the Rollins match. It's Roman then showing up for Brock's match, and you're like, oh God, oh no. And everybody, you had to know, and I don't know if this was the feeling in the arena, that you had to know what the finish of the night was going to be at that point.
Yep, the second Roman came out, it was just like, oh, this is happening. And everybody, you can start hearing rumblings immediately, like, oh shit, oh no, Heyman's going to do this. Uh-oh, oh God, Lashley's going to do this. Heyman's going to screw over Lesnar. And you could just see everybody like, wait a minute.
Say this. I was not, I'll even say this, and maybe I was just so like enjoying the moment. I didn't see the Heyman turn being a part of it.
We started picking that up in the arena real quick. The second Roman started walking down.
Well, like he started staring down Heyman, and I was like, oh, he's going to turn around and spear Brock again and rub it in Heyman's face. And then when he put his hand out, I was like, oh no.
Everybody's jaw dropped.
For 6 weeks. Like, oh God.
40,000 jaws hit the floor.
It
in
was
that moment. Just
that twist. And
this
they
is
gave us a
happening.
couple cool little twists. Like I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a solid match because of if you're looking at it from a storytelling, fantastic storytelling match. Because now you can sprout off with MVP and Bobby doing their thing. Brock and Roman get to move on in the custody of Paul Heyman towards WrestleMania. Like
Yeah.
everything works such an ebb and flow.
So the question becomes, I know we're fast forwarding, but everybody knows how the night ended. So oh well. And we all know what happened on Raw, where they've got the Elimination Chamber in Murder Central in 3 weeks. No, not Detroit, Saudi Arabia. I love you.
Shout out to the D.
Are they really going to do title versus title? Do they have no plans for Bobby Lashley to the point that they're like, oh no, we're just putting the belt on Bobby to further the Roman and Brock story?
So here's the thing. Theoretically, at brass tacks, yep, it looks like we're gonna have another quick ass reign for Bobby. But the only way that this works in a different way that is not Brock Lesnar and we have a unification is one of 3 ways. Either Matt Riddle pulls off the shocker and we end up having Matt Riddle versus Randy Orton and Monday night. Think of this, the night after Blood Money, we could have Matt Riddle in the ring. Orton comes down and does that Triple H evolution turn on Matt Riddle. And all of a sudden, Riddle gets the heat, or Riddle becomes the face, Orton becomes that heater that Triple H used to be. Or we have Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins wins the title. He ends up having a build with Kevin Owens towards WrestleMania. Boom.
Yeah.
We've got that. Then we also have, who was the other one that I thought of too?
Austin
Give me the.
Theory.
Nope, he was the one that I said, hell no, had no chance. Run
AJ.
me the names. AJ.
Yeah, because it's Bobby, Brock, AJ, Riddle, Rollins, Austin Theory.
Let me give you a match for WrestleMania that would be a fantastic headlining match. From the World Heavyweight Championship, AJ Styles versus Edge.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take that. I would take that all day. Especially because they have the backstory. Because the night Edge debuted, he separates AJ's shoulder. Yep. And AJ can turn right back heel because he's never changed characters, even though he's supposed to be a babyface.
Yeah, he's just always AJ.
Yeah.
You have that build from that of their past, but everything points towards Lesnar. But if they're going to do a variable, it's going to be AJ, Riddle, or Seth.
I have a feeling it's not going to be Seth. So I have a feeling somehow Kevin Owens pulls an Edge and takes Seth's spot in the chamber. And then
I wouldn't be mad at it.
And then, he loses in the chamber, but now Seth's on there. We get 6 weeks of build to Seth versus Kevin.
That's better than Seth versus Shane McMahon. Anyways, we'll get there.
Shane McMahon's gone, so at least we have to deal with that. There goes the money.
There goes the money.
Oh, I love that the people at AEW are like, no. We can do it. We're not going to do it. You just go run your shoe company in China, whatever it was the fuck you were doing.
Have fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's definitely some cool options coming up. I hope. Look, I'm gonna say this. I hope Blood Money, 7 or whatever the hell it's called, is as good as the Blood Money show was back in October. That's all we can really hope for. Because that show was fucking killer, no matter where it was.
I missed
Edge and Rollins inside the cell might have been the WWE match of the year. So
true, but I still miss the Fiend.
Thanks for bringing the whole fucking show down, Matthew.
I miss Bray Wyatt.
Let's see. So that brought us to Edge and Beth versus Miz and Maurice. And speaking of matches that were so much better than they had any right to be.
That was a great match.
Maybe my favorite. I don't think the best match on the show. Maybe my favorite match on the show, though.
Absolutely. It was one of the top matches.
And then definitely of the 6 matches, of all the 6 matches that we got, which still took 4 hours. Yeah, I'm sure you were feeling it by the end.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking And then my favorite thing is that Edge gave Beth the shine, and they both ended the match with her finish instead of his.
Yeah.
Loved it. And then, like, did his kids come out? Because I went
They,
to the piss break after the match, but I saw like video or pictures of the kids in front of the stage.
Mhm. So
cool.
Edge and Beth's kids were in the front row for the match. After the match, Edge and Beth jumped out of the ring, both gave him a hug, and then picked him over the railing and walked them back with them. And
Nice.
they got to the end of the entrance ramp and turned around, and one of the daughters was standing with Edge and threw up the horns and everything with him. And I was just
Nice.
like, that's awesome.
That's the moment, man. That's the moment, like, as a wrestler, like, no matter what level of the business you're at, you want something like that. You know what I mean? Like something where your family's there to see some big moment. Like, I mean, I've had the wife there for some shows. Never had kids there for any of my shows, but like, yeah, that would be rad.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because my daughter like loves this stuff. Like my daughter will sit and watch like random crappy indie shows with me just because she wants to watch wrestling. I love that shit. So hopefully, if I ever go back, that's like the one thing. Have the kids.
My daughter fell out of wrestling, but the only two people that she really three people. The only three people she enjoys is the Miz, Bailey, and Allie Catch. And Effie. She loves Allie and Effie.
Perfect. Kids love Bussy. They're
all about the Bussy, man.
Bussy is for the children.
Shout out to Allie and Effie.
That's a t-shirt. Effie, Allie, since you don't watch this, but if you ever did, you're welcome.
We need to screen cap this so we can send it on like Twitter.
This is going to be on TikTok. This is the clip that I will find a way to put on TikTok.
Once we put it on the TikTok, I'll send it to Twitter too, and we'll get Allie and Effie's attention.
So, let's talk about it.
Here we go.
The elephant in the room. That Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Which part do we want to start with?
Let's start at the beginning, shall we?
Oh boy.
Let's start at AJ Styles opening the match, coming out doing the HBK pose and popping me like awesome. A 5-year-old. Just giving me that glimmer of hope that AJ versus Shawn still might happen one day.
Shawn ain't going to see that one.
No. Well, he'll see half of it. The other half of it will be looking at the ceiling. But, well, we'll never get Shawn Michaels on the show.
Anyways.
Yeah, so it was what? Him and Austin Theory opened it. No, Austin Theory was...
No, him and Nakamura.
Which, had to love that.
Dude.
A little New Japan callback.
The New Japan callback and the fact of, that there's like two people that are spirit animals to me in my life, and Burt Kreischer and Pat McAfee are those spirit animals. Yes. And seeing Pat McAfee on that table losing his shit and dancing along with Nakamura made it all worth it. Everything about it was worth it.
Is it wrong that when Nakamura came out, the first thing I said was, no, cut the camera to Pat. I don't care about Nakamura's interest.
He's just all about it. Like, I love Pat McAfee so damn much. He's so for the brand. It's stupid. God, I love that man. So, I'm the only dude that has the jersey of a punter, probably still.
I think a lot of people have a Pat McAfee jersey.
Now,
yeah. But then Austin Theory comes out. They do a whole bunch of good wrestling. I really enjoyed like the first half of the match.
Me too.
It was a lot of the guys that you want to see in a match like that doing stuff that you want to see those guys do.
You want me to point out the downfall moment of everything where everything started going to shit and hell in a handbasket real fast? If
your answer is 4 letters and starts with Omos, you'd be correct. Oh no, what's the moment then?
4 letters again, but it starts with a K and ends with an I. Kofi.
Oh yeah, Kofi.
Of all the Royal Rumbles that he botches, a damn Royal Rumble moment is the one that I'm at. In the back of my mind for weeks, I'm like, I wonder what Kofi's going to pull off while I'm there. And the second I get there, he flies off the turnbuckle. I'm like, wait a minute, here we go. Did he... Son of a bitch, he hit the floor!
Dude, I saw so many people on Twitter is obviously I'm scrolling Twitter the whole time. So many people on Twitter are like, "Oh, they could have just lied to us. They could have said he didn't land." And I'm like, "Were you watching the same pay-per-view I was watching?
You literally
The
see it.
camera's on him. You see his feet hit the ground. There's no lying about it. Like,
There's no comeback.
it was rough. I felt so bad. And like now I think, do we go Kofi never tries that again? Like that we don't have any more Kofi fucking craziness?
I hope not.
I just, or do we find a new person to do the craziness?
No.
You have
No.
so you have a Ricochet. You have a Trevor running around.
Yeah, they're doing so much with him.
Why?
That's easy.
And why can't they? Why? Because he can't cut a promo?
They
That
treat
doesn't
Richard
sound-
O'Shea like shit.
I don't understand how you have one of the 3 best high flyers on the planet on your roster. Young, good looking, great body, works his
Hitting the
ass
W.
off. And it's the same point I made on TikTok about Cedric Alexander.
Shelton.
Cesaro, that bridge is probably so far past burned, it's insane. How you give him a huge WrestleMania moment, and then by the Rumble, you're like, oh yeah, we'll throw you in the match, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I know I'm maybe I'm not business savvy. I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't understand about super talented wrestlers that can do things.
Let's get to the elephant of the Rumble, Nick.
Yeah. Let's talk about Shane McMahon, shall we?
Good.
Why was
God.
Shane McMahon there?
This was a whole shit show. Like the second Kofi's feet touched that floor, it was like karma just packed its bags and moved into WWE for the next half hour. That Shane McMahon thing, I don't care if he helped produce it or not. My big problem right from the jump is if you're going to get into a striking battle and win, it should not be against Riddle, a dude who is actually in the UFC who can legitimately whoop your ass even though he looks like he's a stoner. That dude will beat the shit out of you. And the
Yep.
fact that Shane McMahon got the W in a striking fest with Matt Riddle, are you out of your damn mind? That's just scratching the surface.
Yeah. Yeah, he comes out at 28. He gets what? He got 3 eliminations too.
3.
He's in the final 3.
Yep.
I don't even care that Brock won. I know
No.
that's what people want to hear us talk about. Is Brock winning? Well, I've already said it. Brock winning ended the story that they told throughout the whole night. You guys want continuity. You want storylines. And I'm not going to go so far as to do the whole, Willie Finesse said it, and I retweeted it, or I do edit it on TikTok. It's not Omega Okada. It's not Rock and Stone Cold. It's not Cena and Orton. But it's a story that's been told over, 7 years now with Brock and Roman. And it's evolved every time it's happened. It's been different chapters of the same story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the de-evolution of Roman. It's Roman going from this super powerful babyface, got to make Roman look strong, to being like, no, you don't have to make me look strong. I'm the head of the fucking table.
You
And
either
now
die a
Brock
hero
can
or
come back and kill the fucking monster.
yeah. What Roman's doing is the whole Dark Knight mentality of you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. He's
Exactly.
become the villain. He's become what he didn't want to be, and he's embraced his Anakin Skywalker.
Exactly. I am fine with Brock winning. I hated not everything that led up to Brock winning, but
It could have been worse. It could have been Shane.
could have been Shane. And there was a brief moment where I was like, they might actually do this. This might be the moment where Vince goes, I'm going to let my kid main event WrestleMania.
You know who deflated the crowd the most on his elimination was KO.
Oh, yeah. Because KO was like the underdog dark horse pick. KO was my pick. I showed up to my Royal Rumble party with my boys with my KO shirt on. Like, I was like, this is the night. They're going to fucking attach the fucking rocket to KO. Yeah, and you could feel it too. Like, I mean, I know you said you've gone back and watched on Peacock now. You could feel it watching on TV. That the fans were like, "Oh God, KO's out."
The second KO was out, it's like, "Yep, it's Lesnar."
Yep. I did have a glimmering hope for Drew, but no, you're not going to let Drew do it twice.
I don't ever want Drew McIntyre headlining a WrestleMania ever again. Period.
Ooh, let's talk about that. Why? Wait, what?
I think. Okay. Is Drew McIntyre? Well, no. Is Drew Galloway a fantastic professional wrestler? Yes, he is. Is Drew McIntyre the character a shit show? Absolutely, he is. The whole sword gimmick is trash. He can't be a heel. He can't be a face. He's always like mid when it comes to his charisma. He can't just be naturally a dick. Like, you know, he wants to be like he was in ICW. And I'm going to let you finish as soon as I'm done with this damn rant. But since you asked for it, you're getting it. So Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway, whatever you want to call him, he would be perfect to be the Roman Reigns type of anti-heel on Monday Night Raw if they gave him the damn opportunity, because he's got that RKO type of finish with the Claymore that he could just be an asshole and hit those quick finishers whenever he wanted. But no, we got to appease to the kids, and here's his mega sword, and he's fucking Excalibur, and all this other bullshit. No, let Drew Galloway be the monster he was and stop this gimmick bullshit that Vince keeps trying to shove down our damn throats because Bruce Pritchard is doing stupid shit like he is on NXT 2.0. Now the floor is yours.
Okay. The sword, I will give you. Drew McIntyre, before the sword, because for some reason the sword killed everything, was the most over babyface they had. Period. Point blank. And when he lost to Bobby at WrestleMania last year, it almost killed the whole night. Like, they let him open the fucking card on night one, and until Bianca versus Sasha, that crowd never really was as insane as they were before that. Drew was over with those people. Drew carried the company through the pandemic on the men's side.
No, he didn't. On the men's side, yes. But
on the men's side, I knew what you were going to say. Bailey carried the fucking company. But
Bailey carried 75, 80% of that damn company.
Yeah, but on the men's side, that was Drew McIntyre's fucking deal. And then you have the first show in front of people in over a year. Who was more a part of that than Drew?
I'm not saying that he's not the predominant male, but you also got to give credit to the Miz.
Miz is great, but Miz is... I hate this.
Miz did a lot of stupid shit.
I hate myself for what I'm about to say. Miz has not been positioned to be the top guy.
Not anymore.
I don't even think when he held the belt, people believed he was the top guy.
Well, no.
The first time
he did. The first time until WrestleMania when he got the concussion, because he was always like that cocky dick. But
no, because I really feel like he held that belt and people were just like, okay, when's he going to lose it? And even when he kept it, but I'm just saying, as a majority.
I get it.
People like us who love the fucking Miz think, oh yeah, put him on top. Let him be a great fucking heel. He was always the chicken shit. Definitely. The man needed help to beat Jerry Lawler. And that's my defining moment of the Miz as a world champion.
They were in
not how good the match versus John Cena would have been at WrestleMania. Not how good it should have been. Although the entrance is still one of my favorites of all time.
Hate Me Now.
Anytime I hear "Hate Me Now" by Nas, I'm just like, that Miz entrance. But the defining moment of Miz as a world champion is that he needed the play-by-play guy to run in and help him beat a 57-year-old man who is coming off a heart attack. Or maybe he was about to have the heart attack. It was all around the same time.
It was in the same window, yeah.
It was. That's why I even when he won it the second time, I knew immediately what that was. Him winning it was only so Bobby could win it.
Yep.
And so Bobby didn't have to beat Drew until WrestleMania. And I was like, just let Bobby beat Drew with the Money in the Bank. Let him fucking beat Miz for Money in the Bank. We don't need to give Miz a throwaway fucking title run that he didn't need.
I mean, it was nice to see him with the belt one more time.
It was, but you could have saved that and actually given him a real title reign.
He deserves a damn WrestleMania in a moment again.
He does, and I hope he gets something good at WrestleMania this year.
He won't.
I mean, obviously, unless they somehow find a way to keep him and Edge going until Mania and do some big crazy blow off. But
no.
I think that Mania card is. I don't want to say it's already set, but you can see all the pieces that they're putting together.
Most of them.
And none of them involve the Miz.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you clearly have Ronda versus, I think it's going to be Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky Part 2.
agree.
That she's going to come out and say, I'll take both of you on like she's Tommy Dreamer.
Yep.
I think you've got what?
Roman and Brock.
Riddle and Randy, Roman and Brock, probably Bobby and Drew. I mean, it's really, or Bobby and Big E, maybe, but
Big E's on SmackDown now.
yeah. See, this is the other thing too. I don't watch the weekly product, so I
With-
can't anymore, man. I
with
have one
Xavier
night a week to
gone-
watch wrestling, and it's usually spent on indies.
Yeah, with Xavier gone, they put Big E over to SmackDown with Kofi.
So what? Big E and Kofi versus the Usos,
More than likely.
or Big E? Yeah, I think besides Brock and maybe the main 5 matches are probably set.
Mhm.
There's going to be a Seth versus KO. I did watch Raw this week just because I had nothing else to do on Monday.
Shout out to Ring of Honor for that.
Yeah.
Tyler Black and Kevin Steen.
Yes, just give me and let them have that kind of match. Just let them go out there and fucking wrestle. I know it's really hard to comprehend that you can have 2 guys who are good at wrestling wrestle, but maybe you do that.
Those would be 2 great candidates.
Yeah, I think Veer Mahan will probably debut. How sad was everyone when it wasn't Veer Mahan at 30?
Nobody really thought about it till after the show. But why do
There
I
was a
have
dude on Reddit that literally had some I'll give $1,000 to charity, and Veer Mahan comes out at number 30.
Why do I have a weird feeling that Veer is going to end up having a match against Nakamura for the IC title at WrestleMania?
I would love that. And here's the thing, real quick, because we'll close it up. Veer Mahan has such an amazing story. No, not his story.
I'll give you that. His real life story, yes.
His real life story. This is a dude that could be what you wanted Jinder Mahal to be.
Absolutely.
And you have now a comedy.
If
You know what
Jinder
this
wasn't
reminds me
Canadian,
of?
oh wait.
You know what this reminds me of? And you're going to know exactly what I'm about to say probably. But you remember the Brodus Clay vignettes?
Oh, Jesus.
And they had him built up as this 400-pound suplex machine. He's going to come kill
Tank
somebody.
Abbott 2.0.
Yeah, and then it's Somebody Call My Mama.
Tank
I have
Abbott
a
2.0
really
with 3
bad
count.
feeling Veer Mahan's going to be dancing.
He's been doing stuff on Main Event.
Veer Mahan has?
Yeah, because Carl was at at Raw on Monday night,
Yeah.
and they taped, of course, Main Event before Raw, and Veer was on Main Event.
I didn't even know Main Event was still a thing.
Yeah, me either until Carl put up pictures. Shout out to Carl Coles, we love you.
We love
But yeah,
Carls.
yeah, he went to Rumble the following Monday, or he went to Raw the Raw after Rumble, and yeah, he was putting up pictures on his Instagram, and I saw Veer, and I was just like, well, son of a bitch, they did finally show his face.
I'll be damned. What's the deal with Carl Cole's couches?
I plead
No
the
one's
fifth.
going to understand that reference, and I don't care. Anyway,
I plead the fifth.
so we have to make sure Carl actually listens to this episode just for that.
Oh, I'll message him. Don't worry. He listens.
Just be like 57 minutes in. You're going to want to start listening.
You're gonna want to be. Shout out to you, buddy.
Big up, Carl Coles. We love you. So yeah, final thoughts on the Royal
You first.
Rumble. Great show.
I've had to chime in first every time. So
Well, because you're the star, buddy. I'm just here to host you. I'm just here to fucking click buttons and let you talk.
shut up, producer.
Exactly. That's all I am. Just a producer now.
You're the switchboard.
Exactly. I'm your Gary. You're Stern. I'm Gary at this point. That's where we're at. Good with it.
All right. So out of a 10.0, what do you give the Rumble?
7.
I would give it a 7.5. Just because
I was
the
fighting
live
between
energy
7
was
and
awesome.
8, but I went 7 just to be safe.
And I will honestly say, I was pleasantly surprised about the Royal Rumble, and not about like the match card or anything like that. I'm talking about like the concessions and parking and that kind of shit. I was pleasantly surprised, and I never thought I'd say that because I expected it to be like $50 parking or stuff like that, like it is for NFL games and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
It was $12 to park.
Oh, nice.
And I had to walk. It was like a 4-block walk, so it wasn't anything terrible. But hey, $12 to park, easy. Walk one left turn and you're looking straight at the arena, like all day long.
Nice.
And then I got a soft pretzel and a pop, and it was $9. Like that's
Oh,
not
that's a good
bad at
deal.
all. Yeah, like hot dogs were $5, brats were $6, pizza was like $5. Like it was pretty solid across the board. So shout out to the Dome.
I'm really hoping that Nissan Stadium does something decent for their prices at SummerSlam. Because I've been to Nissan Stadium and those prices are ridiculous.
I've driven past Nissan Stadium because the highway's right there.
Yeah. You see it from the road, definitely. They made a point to put it in a good spot.
I was pointing it out, thinking of you. It's like, oh, his team plays there.
You know, my team was the number 1 seed of the AFC.
And
Now,
then
we
you
may
put
have
the head
lost.
around.
We may have lost, and that's okay.
Joe Burrow and Evan
Because Joe
McPherson.
Shiesty is going to go win the Super Bowl, and I'm
Joe
going to be like,
Bird.
hey, the Super Bowl champions.
You know what? I'm going to predict it right now, and I want your prediction on this too. Bengals win. Of course, I think we both agree on this. The Bengals win this weekend.
Yes.
What is your final score?
27-21.
You know, we are almost identical in our score.
What's yours?
27-24, Evan McPherson on the last second, like Vinatieri.
I will say this. If it ends with Evan McPherson kicking a game-winning field goal again, I may cry. That's a beautiful fucking story.
That kid is... I think he's going to have a Vinatieri at the end of it, just because of the way that Goodell has booked all of the playoffs and how well it's all gone. And he is
Roger
really...
Goodell is the Vince McMahon of the NFL.
He is the new Roger Goodell when it comes to playoff booking, because everybody's been enjoying these games. Whether it was the 13 seconds against the Chiefs in Buffalo, or it was your Titans against the Bengals, or whatever game it may be on the NFC side, you know, Brady against Stafford, or last week with the Niners against Stafford. Like, it's been fantastic booking in 3-point games pretty much all across the board. And now we lead into the Super Bowl this weekend with Burrow against Stafford, and I'm excited as hell. I see it's the new ushering of the next Tom Brady in this new booking of the NFL. And once Brady or Burrow wins, they put the rocket on him like he's John Cena.
I think it's great that one of these teams is going to win their first ever Super Bowl.
Shout out to Stafford.
Yeah, well, you know,
the Rams have won one. Let's not.
Nope. That I don't remember that.
You don't remember Kevin Dyson at the
Nope, I don't.
Mid.
You don't remember Mike Smith Gator Rolls?
Mid.
Dick Vermeil?
Mid.
Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce?
Mid.
We did this all night long.
Aeneas Williams?
Mid.
Azahir Hakim?
Mid.
Marshall Falk?
Mid.
Mark Bulger?
Mid.
Got any more? Keep going.
I'm trying to remember the rest of them. Did I say Azahir Hakim already?
Mid.
How am I remembering this much of the roster off the top of my head? I was rooting for the Titans in that Super Bowl.
This episode was going to be.
I was rooting for Frank Wycheck and Kevin Dyson in that one.
Frank Wycheck is my favorite Tennessee Titan of all time.
Steve McNair.
I mean, yeah, I love McNair, but I played tight end in high school because I wanted to be like Frank Wycheck. So
Wycheck was the man. Steve McNair, Eddie George, I'll overlook him because of where he went to college, but Kevin Dyson, underrated.
The Ohio State University. When he went to the Ohio State University and won a Heisman.
That team that got their ass beat in the Big House this year?
I don't know, Sean. I'm a Tennessee fan. I don't know why I'm defending Ohio State.
Yeah, what the hell? Like, you guys got Bama and Georgia and everybody else to deal with. We're the least of your worries. Oklahoma coming.
But hey, you know what? At least this hat's orange. So if I wear it backwards, it's okay.
And you're close enough to like the border area to Ohio and Kentucky and that shit. So like,
I'm close to Kentucky, yeah. Not really.
Cincinnati's not much farther from that.
That's true. I have driven through Cincinnati to get to Indy shows. So. But all right. So the Royal Rumble happened. We've talked about it. talked about the Super Bowl. We were going to do a whole episode Super Bowl preview, but I think we pretty much covered everything.
We just started it right there. Boom. That's the taste of the we can do a post Super Bowl talk.
Look, if we get bored at some point this week, we might throw up a 20-minute bonus Super Bowl preview. Who knows? If y'all want that, Twitter, TikTok, whatever you want to talk to us on, we'll do a 20-minute Super Bowl preview. It'll just be Matt talking. It'll be great. That's what anybody's watching this for anyway.
Him asking me questions, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, so let's talk about next week. You excited?
Yeah.
I ordered a shirt. I hope it comes in time. Because next week, you know how we always say we're going to do a part 2 with people? And with Bill Alfonso, we did, but he's the only one so far.
Actually, I don't know if you want me to tell this to you on air or off air, but one of our old guests and I were talking, and he wants to come back on like ASAP whenever.
Is it? Yeah, we'll talk about it off air.
His last name.
I think I know because you only talked to like 5 of them. So
his last name is a capital in the UK.
You were talking to him?
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in like a month.
I was talking to him on Thursday.
Well, if he wants to come back, brother. I mean, we're booked through February, but March is coming soon.
He wants to come back.
I've also been talking to the wife of one of our former guests, so we'll see what's up. Not naming names.
Back on task.
Back on task. Next week, we're going to have born and raised in the swats of Atlanta, Georgia. Hopefully he tells me to hush again because I'm going to try it again. I'm going to see what happens.
My best friend.
Matt's best friend, the new reigning and defending IWTV champion, AC Mack, is going to be back on the show next week. He's going to talk to us all about Southeast First, his defeat of Alex Shelley, which just proves people from Detroit aren't supposed to win at anything, just like the Lions. And AC Mack's going to be here, hopefully with the belt. And hopefully Matt's here and he can talk to his best friend because that'll be swell. So, that being said, Matthew, how many clicks is it, buddy?
Don't even fucking think about it. You better do a dick click.
I mean, I could. It's heavy enough.
Much love, everybody.
Love everybody. And with that, it's let's see. How did Robbie do this?
Actually, hold on. Real quick. I know we're wrapping this up. Shout out to Robbie. He's under the weather. He's dealing with some shit. He's tested positive for the vid. Get well soon, buddy. We love you. Can't wait to have you come back on the show with us.
That's definitely true. Of all the diseases I thought Robbie would get,
the vid.
Rabies. I figured rabies was going to be the one, but
if we were playing roulette, my God, the amount of the vid would have been like the 1 out of 36 that wasn't an STD that I would have picked for him.
Yeah. I thought he was going to fucking get the Black Plague or something. I could have seen that.
I could have saw Ebola.
Like,
anthrax poisoning.
God damn it. 1, 2.
Dick click.